was July Ventura County Potters Guild monthly member meeting. Is there anybody here who's a visitor, who's new, who's not a member of the guild, who'd like to introduce themselves?
Is there a Bill Lawrence here? Because I invited him.
Not at the moment.
I don't see
looking through.
anybody that's not a member yet.
Okay.
That's what I was just looking. Yeah. So, okay. Well, welcome everybody. So I have a couple of announcements, and Jennifer has an announcement, and I'm just going to throw it out. If anyone else has an announcement after these, just say that you have something you want to share. So first of all, this is just to remind you that we're doing the Bowl of Thanks again this year. This year it's in October, late October, and I don't remember the dates. Remember the dates of the show in Ventura?
October 23rd and 4th, 23rd, 24th.
23rd, 24th. It's the third weekend, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's whatever that Saturday
Weekend
and Sunday is.
Weekend before Thanksgiving, before
It's
Halloween.
21st and 22nd of October.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I see.
There you go. Thank you. Anyway, so last year we made many bowls, and we'd like to give the Downtown Ventura partners 300 bowls or more this year. They sell them, the money goes into their budget. And if you don't know who they are, they work with the homeless population, but the service they provide is transportation. So when they find people who are on the streets who are stuck in Ventura because they can't get somewhere where they have a room, they pay their transportation. So if a cousin's got a room for them in Maryland, they'll get them to Maryland. If they've got a room for them somewhere in Europe, they'll verify it and get them to Europe. You want to get them off the street and get them with friends and family that'll help take care of them. And they made about $8,000 selling bowls last year. So that's between now and then. There'll be another announcement from Ellen in Member Connect. She's in the midst of organizing something with someone else in relation to who's going to manage collecting the bowls and so forth. But that'll come from her. Anyway, if you would make bowls for that, that would be great. Any bowls, things you've got sitting around your studio that are not cracked seconds, but something that came out of a kiln that you don't especially like, someone else may love it. You know, glaze tests, any size, we'll take them all. Was that a question? That was a Claudia comment. Okay, so that's it on the bowls. Jennifer has an announcement. You're on mute.
Great, thank you. Nice to see everyone. Happy summer. I wanted to make an announcement about a volunteer opportunity with Pacific Continuation High School here in Ventura, located near the Pacific View Mall. My connection is 35 years working in Ventura Unified as an educator. I've been interested in identifying opportunities for our guild to connect with teachers and students. And I know that has been one of the interests of the guild as well. And when Sean was looking for a list of teachers who might have kilns or teaching ceramics in Ventura, we reached out to the district, and they're eager to explore possibilities with us. And in that conversation, they passed on the message to some of the high school teachers have already started to respond. And the teacher at Pacific High School now is asking if as early as August 24th, which is the second day of school at the Continuation High School, where they have approximately 300 students, I believe, the 12 homeroom teachers are going to get to know their students through a clay project, which they're not ceramics teachers by any means, but they have a lesson design in their social emotional learning curriculum, where the students will make hands, trace a hand out of air dry clay, and then build some small artifacts that represent their beliefs, their priorities, who they are, their personality, and place those in the hand to share with their teacher and other classmates as an identity activity, she calls it at the beginning of the year. So Kathy Elliott is the teacher, and she's asking if we might have as many as 12 volunteers for a 2-hour commitment on August 24th there at Pacific High to team up with a classroom homeroom teacher who will present the lesson in conjunction actually with a cool novel that they're reading. And then we'll assist with, just rolling out, guiding the students to roll out a small slab, trace a hand, and lay it on a bowl as a mold, and just be expert guides. That's our skill that we bring, but also Pacific High as a continuation high school is always looking for caring adults in the community to establish relationships with students or to demonstrate care for students. So it's a two-way opportunity, and I hope some of our guild members will consider that, committing that amount of time. FOS has helped me already, or helped this effort already, by putting an announcement out on Member Connect, right? Is that right, FOS? Member Connect? with
Yes.
the Vehicle. So we have a link to sign up so it can be part of a team service activity. And talking with Win, we present this as a pilot activity, just the first kind of foray into offering this kind of support to teachers in our local Ventura Unified School District. So if anybody has a question, you can reach out to me, but I hope people will sign up. And working with Ellen, we'll also plan a session, an orientation kind of session, so we can spend a few minutes either in person at Ellen's or via a Zoom link, just to make sure we all feel comfortable and are on the same page when we arrive at Pacific High. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to help establish this
Mhm.
connection.
Thanks, Jennifer.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have an announcement they'd like to make?
I have a very quick
Rebecca.
announcement. I posted it on Member Connect. We're having another happy hour, September 7th, from 5 to
Mhm.
7. Come for all or part of the time. It's at Margarita Villa at the harbor. And there's more information on Member Connect. We hope to
Yeah.
see you there.
Thanks.
Just, I put in the newsletter regarding the Marvelous Mug Sale on September 9th and 10th at the gallery. I've gotten one response, but if you're interested in making some mugs and you're a juried member, but not in the gallery, or even in the gallery, and you want to bring mugs to have displayed outside during the 9th and 10th, there is a time commitment either on Saturday or Sunday for 3 hours if you participate.
Do we sign up on the website?
I need to request to sign up for the website. I'll submit a request tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
I like doing that. I just haven't gotten to it and have it put on the calendar. I'll fill out those submissions tomorrow.
Anything else? All right, Pit Fire. It's the Pit Fire gang.
Terry, you're on.
Okay. No introduction. All right.
Oh, well, yeah. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect. Let's see. Let me move the little bar out of
So
the
I guess
way.
while she's getting organized, one of the things that from a program perspective, twice during the year, Terry and Stacy have taken on the responsibility of pulling together the meetings that talk about a clay challenge that gets set up. So Terry, in Stacy's absence, has pulled this all together tonight, and she's collected images from lots of people and put this retrospective of the event together so that all of you that weren't there can see how much fun we had and come next time. And for those that were there, we can show proudly the work that was done. So thank you, Terry.
Oh, you're welcome. It was actually kind of fun once I got into it. These kind of projects always are. Yeah, we had our pit fire day in May, and everybody that was there, it just was like, we've got to do this every year. It was so much fun spending the whole day with your clay friends and getting to know each other. And there were activities, well, you'll see in the slideshow, but it was a beautiful weather that day. Arroyo Verde is a really nice park. So anyway, without further ado, we'll just jump right into it. So first we're going to do the little retrospective, and then we'll show what everybody did. And I told people if they weren't there and they've done pit firing, to go ahead and send me something that they've done in the past, because it's all relevant and it's fun to compare notes. So we have some of that too. So we started a day early by going to workshops at Jeannie's and up and at Rebecca's, and Kristen had the one in Ojai. So Jeannie had all kinds of, all three of you had all kinds of stuff for us to use, copper carbonate, organic materials, and foil and everything that we needed. So we put all kinds of stuff on our pots and wrapped them up in foil. So that's Jennifer there. And oops, I guess we're going to use the space bar or just the mouse. Okay. And there's Gail. So she has one of those copper scrubbies and put a bunch of stuff. And people were carefully putting wires and all these things. And when you see the results, like, didn't really seem to make that much difference. Okay, so then the day of, we took over one of the big picnic areas at Arroyo Verde. Rebecca Russell and Jeannie Thompson were our leads on that. So Rebecca is there with all these foil wrapped pieces that people made the day before. And this is just a later picture, Jeannie poking around. I guess she's unloading the kiln. And there were two grills there. This was the biggest one. And the other one was a little bit smaller. We used them both. So the big one, we laid in wood and then the foils on top, and then more wood and kindling and whatnot. Then we had a smaller one that received unwrapped pieces. Here's Jody with her pieces that she's putting in. So they go in just bare, and then all the chemicals and organics are thrown in communally in that firing. And then all day long, how much wood did you order, Foz? Was that a whole cord?
It's half a cord.
Half a cord of wood. And then people brought wood from home and stuff. Kept the fire going all day long. There's I love that green flame from the copper. And so while the thing is firing, we had activities. So Gloria brought a bunch of stuff and showed people how to make a stamp. So people were making stamps, and she left all the stuff out. So all day long you could come and fool around and make stamps. And then Lori Lester on the table behind us was making fortune cookies, and I did not have a picture of that, but she had a little fortune cookie station going. So between all the camaraderie and the clay stuff, and then there was food, and we had a potluck. Everybody brought food, so there was plenty to eat. And then we had a for sale and a giveaway table. So there were books and rolling pins, and I don't know. So that was kind of cool. Drew brought his flute. We got to hear him play. And then eventually it was all, the wood was all used up. It died down, and we called it done. And then this is what they look like coming out. They're all dirty and stuff. So these barbecue areas have these great tables for cleaning up pit fire pots connected right to the barbecue pit, you know. So so people clean their pots, and at the end of the table down there where Win and Trudy are, there's wax and whatnot. Let's see, there's a picture of that later. There's Gail Swanson. She arrived on a bicycle. She and her husband. That was fun. And I guess that's Sue Klein next to her, I think. Yeah. Cleaning up their pieces. I didn't get any pieces, images from Gail. So she had these orbs. So I don't know how she eventually finished them off, but that's what she had in the firing. Okay, here's waxing. So we waxed and brushed, and there's Drew and Tracy. She's a new member, and it looks like a nice pot that she has. She also did not give me anything to post, so that'll serve as her pot. And I don't think she's here tonight. Feel free to jump in and comment on anything. And this is all the people that were there. So it was a good crowd. And there's that beautiful green hills behind us because of the rains that we had. All right. Anybody want to say anything about the day itself? We're going to do it again, right, Win? Or something similar?
Hopefully sooner than
I was on
later.
mute, so yeah. I think we should do it
We-
every year.
I think we should do it twice a year.
Yeah, even if you don't do a pit fire, I think that whole concept of everybody getting together outside and a picnic and an activity, it was a real bonding experience. And since we don't have in-person meetings, you know, it was really a great activity. So,
That was an in-person meeting.
well, I mean, right here and now, we're not in person.
No, I know, but the pit fire was an in-person.
That's
meeting.
true. It was technically a meeting. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, so here's what people sent in. Sue sent me a before and after picture, as a couple of people did. So this is all the stuff that she put in her foil. And there's her finished piece. Okay, Sue, you want to talk about this?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Actually, I think this was a different piece, but that I did, this one actually broke during the thing, and this other piece was something I did at Moore Park College,
Oh,
but they look the same.
well, I know that something, the handle broke or something, but you were going to glue it back together or something.
I haven't done it.
I don't know.
It's lovely nonetheless.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That one's actually from a different one, but oh well.
Okay. So you've done this before. All right, so Kristen, we have a couple of hers, this and that. You want to talk about your pieces? Anybody have any questions about them? You
Can they
there?
say what materials that they used on these pieces?
Is Kristen here tonight? I think so. Kristen,
I'm not Kristen, but it looks like she had some texture already, like she rolled the, some plants or leaves on. And I don't know, that it created a nice effect too. Is that what
Yeah,
you
like
guys see
right
the
here.
same? Yeah, there
Yeah.
on that one, yeah. So the
Yeah.
combination of that and the pit fire really worked well, it looks like to me.
And then in her email, she said that the hearts looked like they needed something, so she added the beading to these hearts that she made.
Yeah, I like the
Okay.
beading.
Yeah.
The nice
Yeah,
touch.
that's nice.
Yeah, the beading looks great on those. It really makes them pop.
Yeah. All right, Kristen, you had your chance. I guess you're away from the computer or something. Okay, so Rebecca Russell, one of our pit masters, and her
I'm-
effigies. You want to say something about these?
Okay, I'm here. Okay, one of the pieces, let's see if I can see it. I think it's the one, I'm looking at them here. The one in the back on the left, and the one with the 3, that was in the open firing. And the other 2 were wrapped in the foil with I had seaweed in there and copper and oh no, the one on the right was the one that was in the open firing, because you can see the little round circles on there. That was one of those churro things. It goes into a circle, so I just slid it over his head, and that made all those little markings on the back, the one in the back.
Oh, okay.
That was in the open firing, and then the other 2 I wrapped with the foil and put lots of copper in it. I love the copper. Yeah, I was real happy with the way they came out. Yeah,
They're lovely.
Yeah.
thanks. Yeah, I took
Yeah, I think
them.
they're great, especially the way the red cut goes around, especially that one in front.
Yes,
This really highlights it very well.
yes, yes.
Was that ferric chloride or copper?
Copper carbonate. Yeah, I just sprinkled it in, put a lot of seaweed in. Mainly I use seaweed and copper. Those were the 2 things that I used, except for that churro thing for around his neck. And then whatever they put in the open firing is what was in the other one, the one on the far back on the right. Yeah. And
On the
they're
open
fine.
fire, we just threw copper carbonate and table salt in,
Yeah,
plus seaweed and other junk.
yeah. It's just, I think it's an exciting type of firing because everything works. You know, it gives you different effects and you never know, it's a surprise. And none of them cracked, which I was happy about. Yeah, they have bows on, the one in the front has a bow in her hair.
Oh. Here.
Yeah. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
I like the fact that they look ancient with the firing, and the figurines themselves sort of lend themselves to an ancient look.
Well, I make those effigy pots, which are shaman kind of things that come from the Aztec and Inca Empire. And that's what I started with Mata Ortiz. And so I just made these, I kind of started adapting my own style, and it's made in that style though. Yeah. I'm gonna, like I said earlier, I'm gonna take all my effigy pots that I have. I have all kinds, big, little. And I'm gonna put them all out, I don't know where, somewhere, and take a picture of them all together.
Nice.
It's gonna be funny.
Okay, now we have 3 of wins here. I'll go through them real quick. You want to talk about these?
Yeah, these are not from this firing. So the 3 pots I had in this firing sold before I took pictures of them.
Oh, I knew they sold.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So these are a few years old. They're all porcelain clay, all not wrapped in foil, but wrapped in just newspaper with that, seaweed and salt and iron and copper carb and whatever wrapped up against the pot inside the newspaper, and then that's put in the fire. And that bowl is about 6 inches in diameter.
Oh. Somehow I
you-
thought it was smaller.
Did you burnish these pieces?
They're just terraced and waxed. Now,
Okay.
the small one there on the left was triple burnished
Mhm.
and, done the same way. But it all came out, different gray tones, no color at all.
Hmm.
Well, other than the gray tones. And then the one on the right was laid, what would be the right side of the pot was laid in the sawdust at the bottom of the fire of the pit.
Mhm.
Came out with that little galaxy. The whole rest of it's black, different blacks and grays, except for that one spot.
Hmm.
So the
So,
little burnished one's about 3 inches high. And yet that vase on the right is 8 or 9 inches high.
so by burnishing it, it reduced its ability to take on the smoke and effects. Is that
I
what's going
don't know that that's so. I've done other burnished ones that have come out with color.
on? Oh,
You,
Yeah.
Win, do you think the
Yeah.
newspaper is better maybe than the foil?
I
Or just
don't
different?
have an,
Or just
different.
different, yeah.
Is it the foil, whatever you put in the foil pretty much gets held right by your pot. And the newspaper starts out near your pot, but the paper's going to burn before everything volatilizes. So you're just putting it in the area your pot is, not up against the pot.
okay. Here are Jennifer's pieces.
So I had 3 that I tried like different approaches in what I brought. And the one on the left is the one that I wrapped over at Jeannie's with Chore Boy. So you can see the copper, and that texture. It was just perfect. It wrapped around that little round vase and was real snug. The middle 2, I can't really tell you what I put on it because I think I put everything that they had that was there, including there was what is that, Miracle Grow for orchids someone brought, and salt and seaweed and eucalyptus and everything. Then I guess now I if I were to do it again, I'll be more I don't know, I'll take notes really and be more thoughtful and maybe try to do each one really differently so I can see instead of trying everything all at once like that. The one on the right, Gail Swanson had brought some seaweed that was just encrusted with salt, really salty. And I think that's what caused the dark spots there on the leaves. I tied that on before they were wrapped. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really appreciate everyone's, participation before, during, and in the last stages. And I learned a lot and I hope we do it again. And I'd like to note, I think, Win, those are your 2 pots there in the back
Yeah,
on the left.
I noticed that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
2 of them are
excellent.
peeking out there in the back. Yeah.
all right. Very good, good catch.
I did, you can see the wide one has a little crack straight down the bottom, straight down the back. And so I don't know if anybody has ideas about preventing cracking that. I guess that's just part of the process, but it wasn't too bad. And I understand they don't hold water anyway, so you can't really use them as a vase. So I guess it's not so significant.
Yeah, they're too porous to hold water. They're just decorative. Another thing you have to be careful with when you use the seaweed and stuff, if there's too much salt on there, your piece could start to disintegrate over time. I've
Oh,
actually had pieces do that, was sitting on the shelf and slowly a little pile of dust was building up around them.
Wow.
So just, keep an eye on, and I think the big culprit on that one is the kelp. By using the bulbous end of the kelp is too much salt in there. And when those kind of burst, you can get too much salts and stuff. So hopefully your piece won't disintegrate, the one you had all the heavy salt on the
Oh, I'll
seaweed.
watch it. They're all souvenirs from a really special day. So thank you. Yeah, thanks for that.
Enjoy. Well, it'll be like a what is it, an installation piece if it starts disintegrating.
Right. I'll take photos. Yeah. along the
Okay.
way.
There you go.
Okay, Trudy gave us a before and after. So those are her forms. And this was the result. You want to talk about these, Trudy?
Well, I had started a theme a while ago and I wanted to, and it was earth, and I wanted to do wind and fire and water, and I couldn't think of anything for wind and fire. So I went for water, which was the shell and the barnacles. The tubular shape was something that was from before that had textured leaves in it. So I wanted to know if the texture would pop out or, what might happen. So that was just sort of an experiment, which it didn't do much of anything. And the barnacles I like the best. They kind of look real, like they've been in the bottom of something for a long time. And the shell, I think I'm going to try and put it through another bisque and see what else, because I wanted more color on it and it didn't really come out. It's one of the hardest shapes I've ever made. I didn't think doing a shell like that would be that difficult, but it was challenging. So that's about it. Of those barnacles.
It's quite creative.
Thank you.
Lynn sent me a couple of pictures that she had done previously. So really beautiful. Do you want to talk about them?
Sure. I did these when I was at in San Diego at the community college there. And you can see where it was put into the sawdust here where the black shows. And then we would saturate shards with copper and salt or cobalt and salt and put those around the pieces. Rather than putting that stuff on the pot, we were putting it on the shards so that it would vaporize onto the pots.
Interesting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that how it got so soft looking?
Possibly.
Yeah.
The soft edges like over here. That's just really beautiful, this section over here.
And then I know that we tossed on, we just embedded those in the sawdust before putting more wood on top of it. But after we had the pieces in there, then we put on things that were sulfates, which are pretty nasty stuff. But they give really nice colors. Anyway, and we let it stay even overnight to cool. So we didn't unload it till the next morning.
Did you do this at the beach or something like that?
The school has a pit, just a brick built pit. And we could build it right there. We always had to notify the fire department because people across the valley would see it and turn us in. But if we'd already notified the fire department, then they were, okay, I already know about that.
So did you wax these at the end or
I
what?
did. I use marble wax and then buff them.
Very
So
nice.
what's marble wax?
You know, what you would use on a marble table,
Oh,
marble.
okay. Oh, okay.
It's probably very
was
much the
thinking the
same as
marbles
any
that
other
you
kind of
played
thing,
with.
but it's just that it's white instead of yellow.
Mhm.
That's it.
Okay, all right. Very
Thank
nice.
you. Thank you.
Lauren Kate didn't send me anything, but here's a picture of her cleaning up her two big vases, so I thought I would throw that in. I don't think she's here on this call today. So there's that. And that's
Thanks.
Trudy to her. Okay, Jody, these are the birds that we saw. Actually, those are the birds in the picture that we saw of you loading that first in that early slides. So you want to talk about these?
That's why my voice isn't coming through. So these were just birds that I did with in Jeannie's Wednesday class. I had just built them, so I thought, well, they're perfect. And actually the beads as well I put the beads in this bigger bird and fired them inside. I don't think the beads got hot enough. And none of the birds had Terra sigillata on them, but the little covered dish did. So the little covered dish is a throne piece, and I burnished it with the Terra sigillata, and I haven't waxed it or anything, and it's shiny as can be. And I think the orange, I used a lot of actual seaweed, not the copper kind, but the grassy kind. So I think that's where a lot of the orange came. And I used a lot of the ferrochloride, is that right? That we sprayed on. So that's all I know. And so and these I just did lay in the fire, and they look very different in different places. So they're hanging in my garden.
Nice.
So yeah, I don't do much hand building, but it's fun.
All
I
right.
think they'd probably be fun hanging out in the garden, hanging from trees or something. I
Yeah,
think they're really cute.
Yeah, they're on metal rods all throughout my garden, so you can see.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
fun.
Okay, is
Wow,
Nadia here?
Nadia. Whoa.
Is Nadia here? This is a whole little story that goes with these.
Yeah, hi. Okay. Yeah, I did these for a pair of my friends that got married just recently, and I was thinking of them, and I wanted to build something, a sculpture with all of the pieces. So I had several pieces that I fired. The three little pieces were all together in one, and then the bigger pieces were separate. So the bigger pieces had, I started, they're all wheel thrown, by the way, and then I actually manipulated them to look different, so that they were closed forms. And I, what did I do? I burnished them with a silver spoon and a stone to get, the grog, because it was a bee mix with grog. So I wanted to make sure the grog was in there and it would be a nice smooth surface. And I think I did put some Terra Sig on it. Unfortunately I fired a little too hot for the bisque, so I don't think that a lot of the shine came out, even though I did burnish it. Then I wrapped it in foil. Well, first I added, I took a copper scrubby, which is a Choy Boy, and I actually put it on the big pieces, and I like tighten it as tight as I could get. And before I did that, I actually soaked them in ferric chloride. But then I put that Choy Boy on there, and as tight as I could get, and I put the ends in the holes So that's why you see that pattern that looks like it's all going to the top where the hole is. So that actually worked, and you can see the pattern on it. And then I added Himalayan sea salt and some copper carbonate and wrapped it in the foil and put them in. And so the whole thing was constructed with a wooden dowel in the middle. And I found one of the wood caps that you find for fence at the hardware store. So I painted it black and I put felt on the bottom. And I built it all the way to the top, and each section in there has a little O-ring, a rubber O-ring, so that they don't cling together. And then the top is actually glued with what is it, E6000, so it won't come apart. And yeah, that's the front and the back, and the plaque is not there. And I just asked the gentleman if he had if it was okay if I could show it, because I didn't know if they opened the gift yet. And I know it's like, oh. And he said, no, they loved it. And he sent me a picture. He has it on a piece of glass, and it's lit and it looks gorgeous. The picture that he sent me, I wish I had sent that to you, Terry, but it's beautiful. They really love it, and the story that came with it. And it took them 17 years to get married, because, you know, it wasn't shined on very well. So it was, they got married and they're very happy, and it was extraordinary wedding. It was just wonderful. It was a same-sex marriage, that's why they took a long time to get married, but they went through a lot together and got through the other end, and were very happy to be married. So
Nadia, how tall does that piece sit?
you know what? I didn't measure it, but
Approximately.
I know. Let me get a ruler. I'm going to say it's maybe 13, 14 inches tall.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Nice.
with the plaid. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, exquisite piece. I think you're the winner here so far, girl.
Yeah, that's really beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous piece.
Well, I have to
And
say that Jeannie told me not to mess with the little ones. I really was hoping they would be black, and they didn't come out, and I was kind of disappointed, but she said, don't mess with them. And Trudy told me not to mess with them as well. So I left them, and I'm very happy I did. I did spray each one with a polyurethane spray just to protect it, and not, so it would protect it for years to come. So I think it's going to be indoors, but it's very sturdy. I was really kind of surprised.
Well, it's beautiful.
Yeah, fabulous.
Yeah, really nice.
And the information I gave on the side was the title. The plaque says Unity of Love, and it has their names on it, and it has the date they were married. And then I gave them this information on another laminated piece and gave that separately so they could put it underneath the piece and keep the information on it.
Very thoughtful gift. Very generous. of spirit.
I'm just happy they were happy. He couldn't thank me enough. He just I loved to see the display. It was so beautiful the way he had it with the lighting, and the mirror really reflects the lights, and it was really pretty the way they set it up.
Okay. Jerry Caruso, she didn't send me anything either, but here she is in front of what is probably her piece, since she's cleaning it up. Are you here, Jerry?
Yes, that is my piece.
Okay.
You're gonna
Yeah.
ask me what I
Say
put
it
in there. I put everything that was there at Jeannie's place. I
Yeah.
wrapped it with a chore boy. I did dip it in that yellow liquid. And we sprinkled some green stuff. And I'm very happy with it. It was shiny, I really was happy with the shine on it. I'm not so proud of the form. I had no control over that. It had a mind of its own.
Is it just sculptural or is there a lid on that?
No, that was my attempt to make it like a big egg around it.
Mhm.
And the second part up on top would not merge with the bottom part. So it is what it is. But I'm very happy with the shine and the color and yeah. And the whole day was a great day. I did enjoy the whole process. I would do it again in a minute.
Great.
Thank you all for
Okay.
The chemicals and the thought and the whole ability to be together, and I did enjoy it.
Good. I'm glad you participated. Okay, moving on. Jeannie, I've got this one and this one. So she's got, you want to talk about your pieces?
Yeah, on all of them, I dipped or poured the ferric chloride over them. And I'll go back to the other slide. So I also put this one on the left is terraced and kind of buffed with the soft cloth. The handle actually has multiple colors of clay wedged together to give some design to it. So that was kind of fun to see what the other colors of clay would do. The one on the right with the faces, I've been doing the Narikomi faces with my classes. And again, I wanted to just experiment and see what they would do with the pit fire. And I'm really pleased with how they came out.
Mhm.
And in all my foil containers, I only put table salt and copper carbonate. So just the three ingredients, the ferric chloride, the salt, and the copper carb. And the next one, the next slide.
I mean, you didn't put any organics in there like everybody else was stuffing leaves and. Oops.
No, just those three ingredients.
Huh.
And the faces on the left are just some rattles that I just pinched out, and that's the black bamboo stems. If anybody wants black bamboo, I've got one growing out here. And I was going to put some beads or something around their heads, but I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. The vase on the right, which is hand built, not thrown, slab built. I wanted to play with the photo transfer idea, and I'm real pleased with how that came out. So basically the photo transfer is an iron oxide. So if you ever want to play with an iron oxide design on something in pit fire, it comes great. It comes out really nice with the pit firing. And then I just,
Right.
yeah, probably waxed this one up, waxed them up afterwards. So just experimenting with some different, ideas.
So that photo transfer is like if you print something out on a toner based printer, then transferred onto your piece.
Yeah, it's an old Canon copy machine that when you take a copy, you stop the copy and process before it goes through the heat set. So the ink is just a powder. It's actually just a powder on your paper.
Right.
And you transfer it to leather hard clay and don't touch it. So you don't, because you could smear it. So sometimes if I'm in a school situation where I'm teaching this and other people might be touching it, I just take a little acrylic spray paint and just lightly coat it so that it could be touched and it's not going to mess up the design. So if you're ever around a lot of people that might do that, but basically there's a red iron oxide in that ink, and so yeah, just press it on, you got it.
Great. Very, very nice.
Yeah, I was really pleased with how it came through with the pit fire. But again, it's just the ferric chloride and table salt and copper carbon on all of these.
Nice.
All right. Here's Nora with her mask. I don't think Nora is here. Or is she? Does she come to these?
No, Nora's not here.
Do you have
Um,
anything to say about it on her behalf?
She put the same stuff in that I did, the seaweed, the copper. I think she put a little bit of horsehair in there. And that came out really nice and put it
Looks
in
great.
foil.
Love it.
Yeah.
Hey, Irene, is Irene here tonight?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Irene sent us some pieces from a previous pit fire somewhere else. And they're stunning. You want to talk about them?
These are really old ones. And at the time I was taking a community ed class, there were 10 of us. And we decided we wanted to try pit firing and we didn't have a clue. So one of the members had lived on 100 acres and she had her husband dig this 20-foot long hole in the ground, giant hole. And then what we did is we used, I think I remember using copper, salt, cobalt, maybe some steel wool. And we each laid our own things in the pit. It was that big. And where the black pieces are, I laid kind of at an angle because I knew it would probably be black. So I angled them so the black would show up. And then of course, this girl had access to all the wood. We were in Oregon at the time. And then we carefully piled big logs on top of our pots. And let's see, then we set it on fire. And then we had these great big tin sheets. And we laid that over and we let it fire overnight. And then we came back the next day and uncovered it. But we didn't know how anything was going to turn out. And this was the result of that, some of those firings. So,
You didn't use foil to make little saggers or anything? Yeah.
no, none of us did. We didn't know anything. We just laid them in. On this one, the collar, I did put, underglaze, and when it came out, it was gray. So then I just took India ink and painted it. And then all of them, I brushed on concrete sealer. And some I used a gloss one, and some I used just kind of a low gloss concrete sealer. And so far I have the little one left. And then this one, it didn't have enough, the other one, the feathered one didn't have enough color. It had mainly black, as you can see. So I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and you can see the weaving in the back. And I just glued the feathers on. And I was kind of lucky because we lived near a casino. And at the time, I was doing a lot of these bowls, and the casino was buying, for their gift shop, was buying all my bowls outright. And then after about 2 years, their business started going, well, no, they closed the gift store for some reason. And then about 3 years later, when they reopened it, they had just a whole different style of things in the gift store. But I was lucky that, I did several of these type of bowls. And they all have this concrete sealer on them.
Got some beautiful colors on those pieces.
Yeah.
I was lucky. And at first, like many things, I don't know if everyone does this, but when I first got them out, I thought, oh, this is awful. I hate it. And then you go back a month or 2 months later, and then you kind of think, oh, well, this isn't quite so bad, after all.
Sounds like a true Potter.
Right, yeah. I don't know what my expectations were. And this one though, I think I have no idea what that green is, but I can almost see like I don't know if I brushed something on after the firing, because you can see like a hard line. See the green on top there? So this one, I know the green, I must have done something after post-firing, but I haven't a clue.
All right, well, they're beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, and Foz brought us something from previous. You want to say anything about these?
Sure, this is a firing from Ventura College. I can't remember exactly what the assignment was, but this was, and I may or may not say it wrong, an Aribayos, which was it's an ancient Inca beverage container. It's probably a quarter of the size that it might have been. And it's got a pointed bottom so that when these beverage containers or water containers were placed, you know, they were carried on someone's back, and then when they sat down, the point would hold the vessel level in the ground while they rested. So it's terraceged. I terraceged the pot. The black at the top is terraceged that had mason stain in it. And then the lower part is just a red art terracege painted on the pot. They were just, it was put bare in the fire. And whatever went in the fire, really didn't have much effect except for the black spotting on it. The cups were also pit fired. It's black and white underglaze painted on in a traditional pattern for what a cup might have looked like. So obviously you can see a little bit of reflection of probably copper or ferrochloride that might have been in the pit. Potentially off-gassing off of some other pieces that were in next to it in foil. So, and then it's the jug is actually polished with a wax afterwards. The cups are bare.
Did you put something inside the jug so it can actually hold drink?
No. That's all she
Okay.
wrote.
All right. We'll move on. Thanks. Okay, Drew submitted a video.
Hi, I'm Drew Lurie, and I recently attended the Pit Fire Workshop. I made a few musical instruments that I'm going to demonstrate. A couple of them were made at a previous workshop. This is the double-toned or double-chambered ocarina, played thusly.
The sound went away. If you can redo it, that would be so good because you're missing the sound.
AKA tone nut, played thusly. I've got a couple of funky face rattles here. Let's see, I have them like this. And by the way, you can see on some of them a little bit of horsehair. If you take them out of the pit when they're really hot and throw on a little bit of horsehair, it gets interesting effects. Here's how these sound. And lastly, the Udu drum, traditional ceramic instrument out of Africa originally. You can see again some of the horsehair effect. I've got some holes in this chamber and you can get some cool effects. Here we go.
Mhm.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Sadly, and
Thank you.
unfortunately, I was hoping to share all those sounds because I thought they were pretty
Well,
cool.
Well,
Some
did
of
you
it-
gued the hear the sound of the video?
I
No.
didn't.
Just the
Zero.
first couple.
No. The answer is
Hear
no.
him
I didn't hear
talking,
the
but
sound.
none of the musical sound.
Oh, you could hear him talking, but you couldn't hear the,
You're right.
You
Terry,
hear the
that's
first
what we
couple
got.
notes and then it's like it goes mute.
Yeah.
well, did you hear his narration of his pieces?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's fine. Maybe next year.
That's really weird because I can hear it just fine. You
Hmm.
know, it worked fine in the, yeah, I don't know why you're not hearing the whole thing.
Are you muting yourself at all?
No.
Me?
I
No.
mean, we're unmuted.
No, no, no. I was wondering if Terry was muting.
No, I'm not muted.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, it's
weird.
kind of weird because just the music died out. He talked,
Yeah.
but no music.
Huh.
Okay, well, don't sweat it. I'm sorry about that because each of these little instruments had their own unique tones, but maybe another time.
But the point
Next
is
time we
they're
get together, bring them.
fired.
Yeah, maybe we all need to be on mute. Maybe just little background noise is taking over the sound, the channel. But
I
it's
don't know.
odd that it's coordinated with the playing the music.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
What happened? Did, I don't know what happened there. Okay.
Said everyone needs to be on mute.
Oh, I don't know what I did, but, well, I'm really sorry they didn't hear that. Yeah, the music was really cool. And I had a question, like with that double ocarina, did you have to experiment a lot to get it tuned? Or do you just accept what comes out?
My general life philosophy is atonal and polyrhythmic, so I'm not trying to seek any definite player. Coming from you, a seasoned oboist, or was it bassoon? That would be a
Oboe.
question I would expect. But no concerns there. I make a ton of them individual side by side and stick two together that sound good.
Oh, I see.
Why don't we try this again? Why doesn't everyone mute themselves? And
You
let's
want me to
try the
mute
video
myself
one
too?
more time, okay?
Shall I mute myself as well?
Yeah. Oh, no, you have to stay open, but you have to be quiet
Okay.
because your microphone's gonna pick up.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I'm going to turn my computer's volume up as well. So it was down a couple of notches. So, okay, let's try this again. Oops.
Hi,
There.
I'm Drew Lurie, and I recently attended the Pitt Fire Workshop. I made a few musical instruments that I'm going to demonstrate. A couple of them were made at a previous workshop. This is the double-toned or double-chambered ocarina, played thusly.
No bueno.
Next,
You know-
we have the circle flute, AKA
No go.
You know,
Still
when
not-
Jeannie does her Zoom classes and she takes out a paddle to shape a piece of pottery, as soon as she starts smacking that paddle, the sound goes off on the Zoom class. So I wonder if there's some level of sound that triggers it to
Yeah.
null and void it so that it isn't too loud or too percussive.
Interesting.
Okay, well, let's
Good to
don't,
know.
don't sweat it. Anyway, I love making these type of items. And,
We'll post the video on YouTube, on the YouTube channel along with the whole thing.
There
thank
you go.
Terry.
Yeah,
Terry will do that. Thank you, Terry.
that's a plan. Yeah, actually,
Hold on. Let's see. Let me try this. Let me change the settings to original sound for musicians.
Sorry to take too much time, folks.
All right, try playing that one more time and let's see if it changes it.
okay.
Play it thusly.
No,
No.
change it.
Didn't work.
No.
Next,
No.
Okay, next up.
Aw,
All right.
that is so weird.
Okay,
Maybe we'll timestamp where Drew is when the member meeting program gets posted.
Okay. All right.
moving on.
Okay. So, any discussion about Drew's pieces?
I want to hear them.
Yeah,
Me too. But,
Yeah.
that was
moving on.
really cool.
Drew, do you have them with you now that you could play them live while we're on Zoom and not have to listen to them on a video?
Well, tell you what, I could grab a couple of them real quick, but I don't want to take too much time here. Other people have things they want to see.
I have a question about the circle flute that you're holding.
Yeah.
Is there no out to it? You know,
Say again, is there no?
it's a closed loop.
Oh yeah, it's a hollow donut, AKA tone nut. So yes.
But I mean, if you blow into it, where does the air, is there a hole at the end there that we kind of can't see? Like, you see my mouse, is there a hole there?
Hold on, let's make that a picture in 1,000 words, shall we? And I've got a bright light. How do you light?
Don't hear that either.
That's the circle flute. Okay, I played the circle flute. Could you hear it?
Nope.
No.
Oh, okay.
Play it now. Yeah.
No.
Okay. You know, I've taken enough time, but we've discovered one thing that certain tones don't come through in this technology. So.
Can I ask you a question really quick? The circle flute that you're holding, did you use terra sigillata? Did you burnish
No.
it? It's because it's so shiny.
Yeah, just burnished.
It's
Just
beautiful.
burnished.
It's
Thanks,
a
yeah.
beautiful piece.
Thanks. Yeah, sorry that part didn't work out, but I'm anxious to hear and see other people's work. So moving on.
Okay. All right. We'll move on. That was very entertaining to
Kind of.
me. I got to see it. Okay. Elena gave us 2 slides here. So you want to talk about these? Oops.
Hi, I'm
No,
Drew
not you.
Lurie. and
Stop there. Sorry.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I did 2 pots and they were covered with terra sigillata and I burnished them before. And then at Jenny's house, I put as almost everyone did, ferrum chloride, several coats. And then I guess
Hi,
it was
I'm Drew Lurie.
everything. It was table salt, it was copper carbonate. I put also seaweed and banana peels. And on, yes, this one, the second, I try for the first time copper mesh. You can see the effect and I like it. And I guess on this one also, after I took it off from the pit fire and kind of clean up, I put a little bit horsehair that Nora, I guess Nora provided also during the fire. And after that, yeah, I also covered with wax. Mm.
That's some great colors.
Nice. Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the
Okay.
pattern from the copper scrubby really came out good.
Yeah, it did.
So on the
Yeah, that was
previous,
multi-dimensional.
on the previous slide, can you go back one?
Yeah.
That one, what is that flower in the pot on the right?
Just dry roses.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was just thinking like to put something a bit interesting and show
Yeah,
the
that's-
size.
So the roses hadn't totally bloomed out?
No, the dried and yeah, they
Dead.
still have a little bit color.
Oh, they're beautiful. They look like little fairy dancers or something.
Thank you.
Mm. Yeah, I really like that pot.
I'm gonna have to go out and trim my roses now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Okay. And now we have Claudia has, she made really good use of horsehair. She has 2 pieces. You want to talk about that?
Yeah.
You toggled your mute back onto mute.
Unmute.
There you go.
Okay. I yeah, I did use a lot of horsehair. I was hoping to get a little more color, but this piece was thoroughly burnished. I haven't put any sealer on it as yet, but did use the horsehair when they came out of the firing. But I was a little disappointed that I didn't get more color. I used all the stuff that was available at Kristen's and had them wrapped, but I'm not disappointed.
Well, at
But
least
maybe-
it's a bone, bone. So
Yeah, of course, I can't be disappointed.
this one got some nice color.
This one got some nice color, yeah. And I did put a little horsehair on it, and I really couldn't tell you what I did where, because I'm sure it all just moved around inside the foil. It was foil wrapped. Does anybody know, like with the skull, I kind of designed it with the idea that I could put like a little tea candle in there. I thought that would maybe look cool with the glowing eyes. If that would do any damage to the pot itself.
No.
I mean, it wouldn't, a little tea light wouldn't put too much heat in there, right?
No.
No.
Might make
Might
it
get a little
smoky.
smoky
Yeah, it
color.
might be
up.
smokier.
Mhm.
You know, and here
Get
I thought
eyebrows.
I thought Claudia was such a sweet little lady. And here she comes up with this skull.
Oh, well.
She's hiding a personality we don't know about.
Keeping it real.
You're a little scary, girl. You're a little scary now.
Well, it's a very tiny, it's probably even scarier because it's very tiny, like a child's skull. But
Oh, what do you have buried in your backyard?
yeah, no, just old animals. Anyway, I enjoyed the getting together, and it was a lot of fun. So look forward to next time.
All right. Marie can't be here tonight. She had a conflict, but she sent me these pictures from when she did a pit firing with La Cañada people. So you can see it's at the beach, and this is how, I guess I don't know how many pits they had, but maybe it was just a few people getting together. But anyway, these are her prep pictures. And she used copper spray paint, she said. And then those are the collection of pieces that she fired.
All
All right.
Beautiful color.
Yeah. And Rebecca submitted 3 pieces. You want to talk about these?
Sure. The first one I've been doing some Cycladic, which is early Greek sculpture, and I think it looks more authentic, pit fired. I just found a picture that I took when I was making it. So it had ferric chloride on it, pistachio nuts, some of the copper carbonate with salt, and then the black is steel wool. And then it's, there's a rod that goes up through it, and it's on a ceramic made base. And it was burnished and bis to 08 and burnished with well, I did use Terracige. This was a Terracige one. And then the next one, I wanted to see what an underglaze would look like. And I liked the back of the pot better, where it kind of, the firing did its thing. And this one was also Terracige, and then I sprayed it with the Krylon, and I don't like the look of it as much as the other one was waxed. But again, this is basically the ferric chloride and the magic dust, what is it, the copper carbonate and salt. And there might have been a banana peel or 2 thrown in, but I don't think it did a whole lot. I think most of it was with the ferric chloride.
Yeah, I agree that,
that
that
one
one
was-
on the left is really appealing, the
Yeah,
colors.
beautiful. Yeah, that left one is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's the backside. So
I
Oh,
no,
know.
don't mess with Mother Nature.
Well, I think if you had done a little more delicate design on the front, that it would look better.
Yeah, I was more curious on how would it show up, but
Yeah,
yeah, no, good point.
got to experiment.
And then the last one is that one I did Terracige plus I burnished, and so the sheen came out really, really nice. And this is kind of a nod to the Navajos, where I made little indentations in the clay for some turquoise. And again, it's I think I used a chore boy on this one as well, but I don't think it really came out. It's probably too far from the pot. But the ferric chloride and I think some steel wool to give it the black. And this is waxed.
Well, on this one, the front came out better than the back. So
Yeah, it did. I was lucky.
yeah, in fact, that's a nice deep color you got here.
Yeah.
One thing nice about them, if you don't like them the first time, just refire them.
True. What do you think would happen with the burnished piece? And if you were to then re-biscuit, get the color gone, and then glaze it, would the burnish make it too smooth for the glaze to really adhere?
No, I don't think so. I think it'd be fine. I actually took one of my pit fires that I did. It came out very, very black, and I didn't like it. So I put a clear glaze over it and fired it to cone 6, and thinking that the black would burn out, but it didn't. So it's now very shiny black, which is better than what it was. So that was kind of interesting. But yeah, if you bisque them, then a lot of the black will burn out, but you may still have some of the copper left in there, and that will affect your glazes that you put over. I've actually done where I pit fired some pieces, and again, the copper that was on it and the salts, the colors didn't come out very pretty. I got a lot of black. And I put a clear crackle raku and rakued it and reduced it in the garbage can, and everything that was copper on there went copper. It was black and ugly, and it all came out the beautiful copper colors, and it's a beautiful piece. I still have it today. So that's another option. I do like the front of this one.
Irene?
Yes, I was just going to say, using the concrete sealer really brings out the color on something that is otherwise kind of drab looking. And the one that I've used that on, the pieces I've used that on, the color is still on one of the pieces I still have, and it's like 23 years old. So if you want to, you know, get that color a little bit darker, just put concrete sealer on it.
Good to know.
That's a liquid. Did you brush it on or pour it on?
Yes, no, I just brush it on. It's just a liquid. Home Depot has it, but I think I got it less expensive on Amazon. And I didn't want to drive over to Home Depot. And I think because Home Depot also, you had to get a larger container, and it cost more. So.
All right. Okay, and this is my my result. I've never done this before, so I read up about it, and I wrapped the one on the right with bare copper wire in some sort of deliberate patterns and twists and turns and everything. You can barely see a few marks that it left in a few places, so it was kind of a bust. The one on the left, I smeared a slip on it, and I'd been reading up on raku techniques, so I smeared slip on it so that it would crack and give a spider web effect, and it did a little bit, but not very much. So, and I waxed them when we were done.
Yeah, the copper wire, again, it's got to really be touching in order to get any color. If there's any airspace between, it's not going to pick up any color onto your pot.
Okay.
It's like the choroboy, it's got to be really, really tight against your piece.
Mm. Well, I wrapped it around, but it wasn't, because it had twists and shapes and stuff, that's almost impossible to get any kind of
close. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if you, after you wrap the wire around, if you didn't take a choroboy over the whole thing, and that would hold the wire against your pot. That might work. Give that a try next time.
That's an idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a lot of fun, and you know, they're not great pieces, but it was a lot of fun, and I'd do it again with more thought into the pieces. I just picked 2 bisque pieces that I didn't think that were, one was the one on the left was kind of over heavy for its size, and the one on the right, just, yeah, I just picked 2 random pieces that I had that I didn't really have any plan for.
Next time you get better color.
Yeah, next time I'll be yeah, I'll now I can see what the possibility is.
Because I haven't shown the many pit-fired pots that I've made that came out with very little color or really ugly. One only picks out the pretty ones to show. So it's not every one that comes out great.
Okay, thanks.
It definitely is pot luck, I will tell you, because I've had a number of firings where nothing came out with any color. So it's all pot luck, and it's all a learning experience.
Yeah, well, it was a great day, and it was fun reliving it through all these pictures and everybody. I noticed looking at the participants that we did show earlier in the process, Tracy holding her pot. Do you have anything to say about your pot, Tracy? Do you want me to go back to that? Way back in the beginning.
Terry, I did have some questions for you.
Yeah.
When you put the slip on, did you put on the whole piece or just part of it?
I put it on kind of the bottom part of it. I didn't put it on the whole thing.
So the part that was white.
The part at the top didn't have it.
Okay. And when it came out, was it cracked a lot or
it was
looked like
cracked? It wasn't totally cracked, and I had to kind of work at it to get the pieces off. So maybe I didn't use the right consistency of slip. I don't know.
Oh, so you're trying to do the naked raccoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Right.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah, you have to put a terracage before you put the glaze cover. It's more like a glaze sort of than a slip.
Oh.
So your piece, I've done it in the past where you put a terracage on it and then you put this kind of a glaze formulation. That if you do fire it too hot, it will go to glaze, but if you under fire it, it will crackle, and then when it's reduced in the garbage can, you will get the black lines where it cracks and falls off.
Yeah, that's what I was intrigued about.
Yeah.
I saw this guy, what he did is he buys copper mesh in tubes, and then he wraps his pieces in the copper mesh really tight, like I did with mine. And then he adds the slip over it, and that really seems to work, and it gets the impression of the copper and the cracking at the same time, and it looks really awesome. I haven't personally done it, but I watched this guy do it, so maybe that's something to think about.
An experiment. I actually, without even looking for it one day, Amazon had popped up this roll of copper mesh. So maybe next time we should buy a roll of copper mesh and play with.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's what this guy does. He wraps his pieces.
I have a question for Win. When you talked about triple burnishing, is that, I mean, I burnish stuff, but what's triple burnishing? Do you do something in between?
No, I burnished the whole thing. It was bone dry, and I had smoothed it with the soft rubber rib. So it was bone dry, wetted small areas, and burnished with, I think, the round end of a silver spoon. And then once that was done, I burnished it again with coconut oil. And then when that was done, I burnished it a third time with coconut oil.
All right, so you do add some oil or something each time.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, I brought this slide up because it was in the sort of the intro part, and it does have Tracy with her beautiful pot. You want to talk about your pot?
Thanks so much. I'm still the new kid. I just started playing with clay 2 semesters ago, so I'm brand new, and I've done hand building, and I hadn't really done any wheel work. But one day I took some 3-pound balls of clay and I managed to make that. Wow. And I love the way it came out. The colors came out really well. I did terracage and I did burnish it. I have a piece of polished jasper that I worked on that with. And I had a few other pieces. That one, the colors are just gorgeous. You can just see that one part. But this is actually the rattle that I made. Can you see that?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold on, just wait a second. Okay, I'm gonna stop my share. And
okay, well, there's that. There's another one. Kind of big, kind of came out nicely with a slab. This side you can
you're
see
the one with the hearts. Okay.
the steel wool made this gray color. And then this side had some seaweed and some bananas and the coffee and all the jazz that was over at Jeannie's house. She was so generous to let us all come over and use her good stuff. Yeah, this has, I don't know if this one had, and yeah, this might be some chore boy here, but it was a lot of fun. It came out nicely. It's kind of big, kind of burly. And I had so much fun that day meeting a lot of you for the very first time, because like I said, I'm the new kid on the block.
Could you put the bowl up again? Show
I
us the
don't-
bowl. Yeah.
The bowl's downstairs, but
Oh, okay. Okay.
she had that in a picture there. And then I had another bowl that I made with a slab that had a little overlapping flap on it. It was an embrace. It was a bowl that was symbolic of an embrace to me. But I just wanted to say that it was so much fun to watch that skull come out of the ashes. It was fun to watch everything come out of the ashes, but that was just kind of weird and kind of fun. And everybody was so delightful that day. And thanks for going back to that picture. I couldn't be on the video in the beginning of your.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't think you were here. That's why I went past it. So then I was looking at the participants and I saw your name. So
Yeah, thanks. We were a little inundated with work, so I couldn't get on till a little bit late. So thank you so much for going back, and that was fun, everybody.
You got some great color on your pieces. That heart especially looks really nice.
Thanks. Yeah, they came out well. This was side, I don't know. I'm not so crazy about all that black, but it has some good pink and it has this beautiful kind of blue gray on this side from the steel wool that I wrapped around this. So, yeah. And it's got a good sound. So, thanks.
okay. Anybody else want to show anything live or talk any more about the pit fire?
Other than the
Crickets.
fact it was a lot of fun. Can't wait till next year.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was our clay
too.
challenge for this this semester or whatever. We have another one coming up, and Foz had a really awesome idea, and I'm going to let her talk about that.
All right. So usually the second clay challenge is in December, and we've been having the last, I think 2, maybe 3 years, we've had a online holiday party with Jeopardy or some other games and contests and a challenge. So what the suggestion is for December, for those of you that were here at our April meeting and had an opportunity to hear Pollyann and Frank Martin's presentation, one of the things that Pollyann spoke about was domestic ware and the idea that she has chosen to spend a lot of time trying to understand food and how food is what goes into a meal, how a meal and food is prepared. And her goal is to create serving vessels for the food that meets and presents the food. So the challenge for December will be to create a serving vessel for a dish that you will bring to the guild potluck. And your potluck meal contribution will be served in that vessel you create. And then we will do a gift exchange so that you will leave the potluck holiday party with a different serving vessel and maybe leftovers than what you arrived with. So the challenge is to consider what it is that you'd like to make and then create that serving vessel, knowing that it will be an exchange at our December challenge. So we'll be able to serve food in it. You can tell the story of how you created that serving vessel for the particular dish. We can all enjoy your food that comes out of it, and then someone can take it home dirty. So you guys on board?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a challenge, all right.
So is everyone leaving with something different than what they brought in?
Yes.
Exactly. And
Yes.
we're gonna meet in person somewhere.
Yes.
And where are we going to have this get together, might I ask?
Well, if
Their
you have some
place.
suggestions, pass them on to the program team. But we will find a place to do it.
Could we think about doing it in an late afternoon or early afternoon, like a lunch instead of a dinner? So it's earlier in the day?
Absolutely, because one of the things that we did with the pit fire is we tried to find a time that worked and a day that worked for people that would travel greater distances. It generally, in the surveys that the program team has done, no matter where we look to offer the event, Ventura is still the preferred location. And so because we have an older group that may not be comfortable driving in the evening, and if we're talking about December, we certainly we don't want to be able to eliminate people. So my guess is it'll probably be,
What if it's a brunch,
lunch.
like 11 o'clock brunch?
sounds like a good idea. Except for all those people that don't start functioning till 10, Jeannie.
Well, that's me, but I can make it by 11.
All right. Well, if you have some suggestions, drop an email to programs@vcpg.org, and we'll be putting that together. So more will be revealed, but certainly we want to plan it on a day and a time when it's reasonable for our membership to get out and drive and still get home before dark.
Boz, I noticed that the library has a community room. Has anybody had any experience there with bringing food
Yes.
in?
The Topper room, yeah.
Can we bring food there?
I've had donuts and coffee there.
Yeah.
Well, next time I go to the library, I'll ask. So
How about Arroyo Verde Park again?
It might
we
rain.
want to be inside, don't we?
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, again, if you've got suggestions, pass them on to the program team. We're going to be working on it. And if you want to help plan the event, put your name in the email saying, I'd love to help you guys organize this. And we'd love to have your help.
Yeah,
So
'cause there's also the Poinsettia Pavilion up on the hill. I don't know if they charge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they do.
charge. We have our gym and mineral meetings up there. Very nice place.
It is nice.
In the neighborhood of $200. We have prizes. But I don't know how we're gonna determine who wins them. Did you get a chance to check that out, Foz? Is there a random drawing?
I did not find something.
Okay. Anybody have any bright ideas about who, how we decide the three winners? There are mud tools. This is a set of wires. The red one has the little coiled wire, so you can do special effects with that one. The black one just ordinary. And this is a set of 3 sponges, and they're genuine mud tools. There's their logo, which will, if you're not careful, which might end up on your piece depending on how you use your sponges. So mud tools, heads up. And then a pair of trim tools. They're both the same. They're just 2 of them. Elena might recognize these pieces. You recognize these, Elena?
Yeah, I recognize them.
Anyway, how are we going to decide?
Okay, so I wrote down 3 numbers right now. So people go in the chat and put down a number between 1 and 23, because there's 23 of us here. Go put a number in, and whoever puts these three numbers down first will win the
Just one-
prizes.
Just one number, you mean?
Yeah, they could pick one number and we'll see here. So Tracy Moe.
Oh my gosh, a bunch of us picked the same number.
Picked hard numbers. Bob.
Claudia. And that's, nobody's picked the last number that I have here.
Everyone chose 13.
Any more stragglers? Okay, Jody.
Okay, so
fun.
Tracy, which one do you want? Do you want the sponges, the wires, or the trim tools?
Well, since I get to go first, I have sponges and wires. I don't have trim tools.
Okay, this
Thank
is
you.
What number did she pick?
Pardon
She
me?
picked 17. She was the first one that had 17.
Oh, yeah, she beat me to it.
okay. I don't use this kind of tool. It might need. I don't know if it needs to be sharpened or I don't know.
No.
Anyway, no.
Ready to
Okay.
use.
I was just looking at those online. I was watching people use them. I was pretty excited. So that's just totally uncanny that just happened.
All right, and there's two of them in here. Okay.
So Claudia gets the next pick.
I'd go for the wire tools.
Jody gets the sponges.
You can always use sponges.
Thank you
All right.
so much.
What's
right.
the number? What were the three numbers?
17, 8, and 4.
Cool.
Ah, okay.
Somebody want to check me and see if I made a mistake?
Trust you, Buzz. Gonna trust you all the way.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I'll figure out how to get these to the respective people. I can get the wires to Claudia easily enough through Drew at the gallery. And Jody, do you come to the gallery very often?
She'll be
Yeah,
there for
you-
the mug event.
Yeah, well, I'll be there before September 9th. Yeah, you can just put them, I have a few pots in the back room on my consignment shelf, so you can just put them
Okay.
in my mugs there.
Okay, and Tracy, where do you live?
Well, I go to the harbor all the time to walk, so I'll stop by.
Okay, I'll leave them at the gallery with your name on it.
Thank you.
And just whoever's working there, tell them, I'll put it on my shelf. So
Okay.
tell them it's in my space. All right. Oh, that was fun giving stuff away.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carrie.
Yeah.
Gary, thank you so much, Foz.
All right.
All right. Have a good
Okay.
summer, and we'll see you
Thanks,
at the
everybody.
end of August. And the August program will have an opportunity to meet a group of emerging artists that are part of the 34th Parallel Collective. They're a group here in Ventura who are all interested in pursuing ceramics as a career. And we're going to kind of get the vibe about what they're interested in, kind of work that they do. And they're looking for mentors. They're looking for opportunities to teach. They're looking for an opportunity to learn. So it's our chance to meet a group of young artists and talk with them.